Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I am your host, Kimberly Cloud. I wanted to talk about some things for a second. I hope that y'all have time. I have things to do. It's 5:12 right now. I'm just chilling in a laid back feeling, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful day with me. I got a song for you. I'm gonna sing it. Here it goes. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Would you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor somewhere else. I always wanted to be in the neighborhood with. I don't even want to go there. Give me a bloom. Anyway, let me go up. Hold on. Oh, this is good. That is good. So anyway, I got things to do, but first, if you're out there watching Guy Morris, thank you. Thank you for a wonderful show. You did it. Not me. Hold on. It's 5:13. When it turned 5:14, I stopped clapping. Okay, I'm getting tired. Muscle failure. Bring it down a notch. There we go. I have a ring on and everything. But yeah, man, thank you, Guy Morris. Thank you. Matter of fact, I have your picture. Give me a second. I have to write something on your picture. Let's make the most of this beautiful day. Wait. Would you be mine? Would you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? I love Mr. Rogers. I used to be like, yeah, Mr. Rogers. Ali oxen free. Won't you be? Please won't you? Just give me a second. Please won't you be my neighbor? Hello, neighbor. He was so calm, man. Everything going on, and he that calm. You'd be like, what? What? I didn't come on here to just joke around with you guys. Give me a second. I can't find this picture. I hate that. Fiddlesticks. Hold on, y'all. I know what to do. Storage is full. Okay, I know what to do. Give me a second. Thanks, Guy. He was a wonderful person. Just something about him, though. It's not in a. I don't. I'm done explaining myself. It is something about him. It's I'm not being funny when I say that. I see through people very well. I don't have special powers. I can see through people because I've been through so much trauma. But let's talk about that. The Curse of Cortez. Oh, guess what? After I talk about this, I'm going to talk about how I was called a monkey in class today. And the teacher did absolutely nothing. The VA really felt. One woman kept just saying racial slurs to get on under my skin. It's like they paid her to do it. And then all of a sudden, she says, monkeys shouldn't lay with white men. At first I smiled at it, but I'm like, excuse me, teach. I'm the only black girl in here, so I'm just going to do the bare minimum for now on. And that's that. I told her. I'm required to go to that stupid class. Anyway, the Curse of Cortez. And she did nothing. She did absolutely nothing but say, that's not nice. And this is what happens with bullying. Dumb people go on rants and they don't like that person. So they allow that person. See, if I would have went off in a rage, she would have wrote down this professional psychologist that got degrees in this crap. She would have wrote down, I'm in a rage. Well, screw you. When I'm on your turf, I shut up. When I'm gone, I'll be speaking again, and that's not funny. Swarm. This one is let me gather my information. It's about hold on. A hacker. We'll just read it. Oh yeah, a hacker in the NSA. Somebody took out artificial intelligence. We talked about this already. Let me just read it. An AI program escaped from the NSA Lawrence Livermore laboratory and has never been recaptured. True story. I mean, I have to say this, y'all. I'm sorry for ruining the film, but this is my turf. You want to sit up there and think that I don't know you don't like me. You talk to everybody else. I should record it. I should start recording, not live, and give it to my tort claim that I'm going to put on you guys. I have every right to record and protect my credibility when you have a psychiatrist saying another thing. So let me tell you guys what happened. I went to class and this woman just kept saying little slurs, racial slurs. And the men, they were looking disgusted. They was like, why is she saying these things? They looking like, they may talk to the teacher, but they know something weird is going on. And they're just trying to do their time and leave. So she asked me how I'm doing. I say, I'm fine. She don't investigate and say, well, tell me more. Because she knows I'm in front of a crowd. So she keeps it bare minimum with me. Everybody else that's actually psychotic, like that stupid woman did, saying racial slurs in the class, it should have been shut down immediately. I will show y'all the video, but I'm going to take it to the federal tort law claim. I can't take this no more. Y'all not going to get away with abusing me for 6 years on this crap. Once I became awoken, y'all started abusing me mentally, calling people saying, be careful for her. You know, I can't even concentrate on this because this is wrong what y'all doing to me, VA. I have to protect with the truth. And what you did in class, a 5-year-old could have facilitated that class a lot better with no degree. I can't help that I'm pretty. I can't help that I wear wigs. You don't treat a black woman like this. And you're Mexican. You laugh at her jokes. And you know they're about me. So I'm going to record you every time and give it to the federal tort and FBI. Because that is not the way you practice groups. Anytime I talk to any of you guys, if I can, I'm going to record it. I'm tired. Now that we got that out the way. Because it's just going to be my word against yours. And you're going to use my mental health against me. Go through this shit. Anyway, Swarm. It's about something that got leaked out of the NSA. Wonder how. And this person goes to investigate. Two NSA or FBI agents show up at, it's about him basically. You know, once it got leaked and he tried to figure out what was going on, the FBI showed up at his door and everything. You know, I'm about to do it right now. I can't take this no more, y'all. She messed up my whole show that I had planned. Another Mexican. They always mess it up for me. They won't leave me alone. They hover around my car like they own it. They do nasty stuff to me, like drive slow when they say, it's the government. How is it that the government had to tell them who I was? I don't talk to no Hispanic except one, and he probably did the same exact thing. I'm sick of this. Then the person from all the way in Santa Maria is reaching out to me. That's Hispanic and from the cartel, saying that he's right down the street from my house. And y'all don't do shit. I have the proof on my daggone messages. Now, I'm about to do this federal law tort claim while I'm on camera. I have to call them on Monday. I can't take this no more. I want my money. I want my fucking money from the VA. And I want people to get fired. It's right here. Right here. Right here. I want to see if it's online. It should be online. I know where I'm going to go. 1 year. Online or in person. ebenefits.gov. I'm doing it online. I fucking had to record them all day and I played them. This is sick, man. I don't do this to everybody. But I had to do it for my safety. Because she's going around talking, flipping it around like I'm the one that's combative. And y'all get to watch me. Where is it at? ebenefits.gov.va.gov. What? Let's try it again. www.ebenefits.va.gov. There we go. I'm not playing no more. I am done. I'm done playing with y'all. Y'all done strapped me down twice to a gurney and drugged me with whatever y'all wanted to. I woke up 5 days later. Yeah, I want my money. I want my fucking money. She's right. Good. She's right. She's right. She's right. She's right. Matter of fact, I got to get off the phone. I'm calling disability. They're still open, I think. What is it? I don't care. Fuck up your house. I can't do shit. Just like she said. I'm gonna have to move that because I'm trying to focus. Give me a second, you guys. This is gonna have to wait. While that's going, I'll let y'all hear this. I'm not playing with them no more. They deserve to give me monetary pay for this shit. While I'm looking up
Richard Fowler, Charlie Hurt, and the Greg Gutfeld. It is 5 o'clock in New York City, and this is The Five. Big day here in the Big Apple for Joe Biden and Donald Trump, both in New York City at the same time today. President Biden chatting with Howard Stern, telling him he would be happy to stand on a debate stage with Trump. Speaking of which, the former president was in court for day 8 of his criminal hush money trial. Former National Enquirer Chief David Pecker wrapping up his testimony. And we got to hear from the prosecution's next 2 witnesses. Trump's former assistant, Ronna Graff, a 34-year veteran of the Trump Organization, and Gary Farrow, a former banker at First Republic when Michael Cohen was apparently seeking to arrange the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels. Trump sounding off on another day in court.
Welcome to the Department of Veterans Affairs telephone.
This is all a Biden
For information via the
indictment.
internet, please visit our website at www.va.gov. If you are having thoughts of suicide, press 7 now to be connected to the
Biden
Veterans
to
Crisis
debate. You
Line.
can do it anytime you want.
Beginning March 5th, 2024, VA is expanding its healthcare to include veterans exposed to toxins and other hazards while serving
Monday
at home
night,
or
Tuesday
abroad.
night, or
To learn
Wednesday
more
night,
or to
we'll
apply
be in
directly for
Michigan,
VA
the state that
healthcare,
is
please
destroyed.
visit va.gov/VA.
Well, the former president was certainly on the mind of the current president. Joe Biden repeatedly brought up Donald Trump while being interviewed by Howard Stern.
I don't know if you're going to debate your opponent.
I am somewhere. I don't know when. I'm happy to debate him. I don't think the election's over yet on that score.
What do you think's going to happen? I can't imagine you're going to lose, but
Well, look, he's promised if he doesn't win, there's going to be a bloodbath. Trump makes fun of me.
right.
He was the kind of guy in the neighborhood. We should could have gotten in the neighborhood, beat head to head.
Maybe like corn pop. Okay, the sit down with Stern coming as Biden takes some friendly fire from the New York Times. The great lady accusing the president of setting a dangerous precedent for avoiding interviews with most of the media. And despite Biden's best efforts to shuffle away from the press, Axios has an alarming new report out on his gate. Quote, instead of walking to and from Marine One by himself in the last week, Biden started walking surrounded by aides who are concerned that videos of Biden walking alone, especially on grass, have highlighted his age. Charlie, you can't stop with the giggles over here today.
Well, whether it's Trump talking about how he wants to debate Biden or the fact that the real concern in the White House is that the tall grass.
they must be closed. I'm really tired. Yes, you are. Okay, I'm having trouble with filling out the federal tort law claim online. I'm trying to do it online right now because I needed to give them information online that I can't give them in via mail or in person. Can I do it? What's a VBA regional office? Because it says I can do it at the VBA. Oh man, like that's something that shouldn't need my address because I'm online on a live segment. Right? Can I give you one that's closest to me or something? Hold on for a second. I'll press mute. Hold on. Give me a second. Okay. When is the bullying going to stop with the VA? I had enough. They do this to me every day. Every time I got to go there and remain a strong Black woman because every group I go to, this lady is picking on me. Or maybe my other psychiatrist is trying to get me locked up and saying that I'm being manic and then gets hesitant when a male end up being my doctor. It's just sickening, man. And I'm tired of it, you guys. So I'm fighting back. I want my money. I want money from somewhere because I'm tired of them doing this to me. This goes beyond Seattle. This goes when they strap me down to a gurney. Yes. Okay, I'm ready. You said okay. Okay. And that's thank you so much. No, ma'am. Bye. Hello? Yes, sir. I don't know if you'll be able to help, but it's worth a shot. Pretty much, I'm going through a lot of issues where um I was raped in jail and I'm filling out, I already filled out a jail claim tort or something where you go online and fill it out. I have a case manager and everything, but here's the deal. I was raped, both my wrists are broken and healing, and my shoulder is broken and healing. Now the VA is trying to cover it up and not try to give me my medical records. And they're hesitant with giving me my medical records now because it's a lawsuit. They don't care that I was raped. And I know I was. I have proof. King County, yes, sir. No, it just seems like a runaround. So I'm just gonna put all my hopes in the federal tort. Understood. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye. Let me look something up real quick. I'm gonna bring all my proof on Monday. What I got? What's Monday looking like? And if my car mess up, if anything happens, I will be catching Uber. Too easy until my car get fixed again. And then I will uh, make a report with the police that it's a setup. Period. And the FBI. They don't got time to arrest all you guys. What you think they're gonna do? You are ruining this city. I mean, to all my ladies out there, if you're watching me and I'm telling you I'm being followed and you're like, good, she deserve it. Do you think that's going to stop you from being followed? If you think that you're middle class, if they want something, just like they wanted something from that white 12-year-old girl that died and got raped, y'all make me look like a pedophile, but y'all sit up there and it makes no sense. So that means some of y'all minds are corrupt yourselves. That, whatever. I'm going to tell them everything that's been going on with me. What's the media? This time I'm getting help. I'm tired of this shit, man. Enough is enough. Philadelphia was even worse to me. They keep making it seem like it's me. Me. It's them. Them. They're jealous. I don't care if I said I was a god. They don't even arrest these guys that's out on the street smoking methamphetamine, but instead they want to arrest and lock me up for what? Saying I'm a goddess, sitting up there saying I got, you know how I know they talk to this stupid woman? Because she kept saying, I don't have any powers. I don't have any powers. If you're on my show right now, why are you watching it? Number one, I didn't invite you. I tried to be nice to you. But that's on you if you want to take money or if you want to feel good for putting somebody else down. How is your life going? You said you had no friends. And I see why now. On Monday, I'm canceling all my appointments. I can't take this no more. The VA is doing me dirty again. And this time I'm going to start recording now. They said it's illegal to record. It's not, it's illegal to do what you're allowing them to do. So what should I do if it's illegal and I'm telling you not to do it? All you're going to say is don't tell you what to do. When is enough that bullies have to be bullied? People like me have to be bullied. I'm not a bully. First she said, I don't have any, just spurting out weird shit. I don't have no powers. Oh, a monkey shouldn't mess with white men. And the teacher is just laughing. Stupid bitch. And then when I adjusted and I said, look, I'm the only black girl in here. I don't feel comfortable with you saying that. She didn't even care. The teacher didn't even say much to her. It's a setup. And I'm tired of them setting me up. She can take that money and shove it up her fat ass. Just like you talked about me, I can go there with you. I don't exclude. You know what? I'm not talking about every fat person. I used to be fat. I'm fat now. But I mean fat as in a negative, evil, sadistic, just nasty way. You're a demon. And I don't like you no more. If they can't control you like that dumb, naive piece of shit for saying that about me, then they'll sit up there and they'll treat you like shit. They can control her. This time I'm getting help. I'm not playing these games no more with y'all. Y'all not gonna arrest me. There's people doing meth and killing people and y'all worried about me. You sick fucks. People doing meth and following people, trying to kill them, trying to put holes in their tires, trying to do all types of shit. And you're worried about me trying to make a change and help people. That's sick. You're the sick ones, not me. I want to help people. You're hurting people. Can't wait to move, man. That's some fucked up shit. You're trying to ruin my show. You put women on my primetime spots and then they don't show up. The ones that do show up, they act like they can be late for 10 minutes and then show up and say, hey, look, you just didn't want to interview me anyway. It's just not right, man. That's how pressed you are. You don't want to see me make it. A black woman. You're sick, man. You got all that education. You get all that money and you're worried about me. I don't want to kill nobody. I want to kill a cat or dog. I don't want to kill nobody. You make it seem like that's how I feel. I don't follow you. You got people following me.
Best friends.
I am going on Monday to tell them what y'all been doing to me since the beginning of Pennsylvania, since the beginning of Santa Maria. I may be out of that claim, but we're going to include that in the claim. We're going to include that in the claim, what y'all did to me in Santa Maria and Pennsylvania. And we're going to talk about how you're trying to do it here subtly again. If my life, I'm starting to feel like my life is in danger from the VA again. And y'all may not understand, but you ask a veteran. If a veteran saying, hey, everything is going good, she's lying. He's lying. One lady was talking about her boots. They weren't trying to get her boots. Come on now, you can't even get the lady boots, medical boots. So glad I don't have another thing to next week. We don't have class next week. So glad. I don't want to see nobody's face, man, because nobody understands what I go through with these doctors. They use their, if you have a doctor that cannot help you, just want to sit up there and say, you know, I think you're manic. Get out of here with that. I'm mad. I have every right to be mad. Y'all keep messing me over. You don't know what they do to me. They go behind my back and talk to people I'm trying to build friendships with, saying I'm living a double life. This is really me. I care about people, and they're ruining it for me. They're going to the radio station doing that. They're going to KCAA, KKNW. Everywhere I go, they investigate, and they make me look crazy. I'm tired of it. They talk to people around this neighborhood. So excuse me for not being, that's how they know me. I haven't talked to not one person. I talked to two people, and they live where I live. One person has no reason to have me follow. Another person has a family. No reason to follow me. That's it. That's all I talk to, other than the Hispanic guy that claims he don't get on Facebook like that. I don't want to mess with nobody. They ruining my show, man. If you're out there and I need to interview you, disregard everything I'm saying. Please, just know that everything I'm saying is the truth. How would you feel if somebody strapped you down for no reason, which I had on camera and had recorded? They don't care, because that's how you know it's a cover up with me. They want to keep me drugged and tired, laying down in the bed all day. Once I came out of that funk and I started waking up and divorced my husband, they started cracking down on me. They want me drugged. They want me drugged and in a hospital. Drugged with volume, all types of stuff. This ain't the 1940s. You got people that needs to be locked up, and you treat me like I'm manic. What is wrong with you people? Let's continue to watch this. This will soothe my soul. Oh, another thing. They want to see me mad. They send these illegal immigrants to follow me so they can sit up there and see me mad. And it's messed up. It's messed up, man. It's messed up. Just put it to you like that. It's okay. But guess what, y'all? I got some good news. We're going to switch the subject now. I'll show you in a second. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I got a date tonight at 8 p.m. What is it? Today? Tonight? 50 minutes? What? How is that? That's not right. Okay, 7 o'clock. I cannot wait. My ticket was free. So excited. My ticket was free. So excited. I didn't ask for no refund or nothing. I need to talk to different people.
Is going to wipe out Joe Biden. And if you wonder why the economy is in the tank, we have an open border and we have all these wars popping up all over the place. It's because
Matthew and Nathan, if you're out there watching, don't let nobody get into your head. To the manager, hold on. I have to say this to the manager at KCAA. It's $3,000 to $10,000 worth treating an innocent person. Don't it ever make you ring a bell? Like, why do they even care in that sense? Why are they calling me with this shit? Have it ever occurred to you what I talk about on my show? Think about what I talk about on my show. It must be true to some degree, right? Think about it, Nathan. Think about it, Matthew. They don't want them to leave because they're working for them. But they're going to flip when they in the numbers. Trust me, I am here working for you guys. I want to see them go back. 1 by 1. 20 by 20. They hurt our freaking United States. They use our Constitution against us. They follow me every day. They want to put nails in my car, if not already. They do some horrific things to me, you guys. And they're going to spread to you guys' neighborhood, whether I follow you all or not. I'm being honest, man. You gotta, it's like somebody, Mike Tyson. You put Mike Tyson in the ring, it's a knockout. You have to give me a chance and a shot at this. To do my job at the radio station properly and professionally, and to get to run for city council the proper way or state senate. You give me the tools and I promise you I will work the shit out of them. And that's what they want to prevent. They want me to look psychotic and I'm not. Give me the tools and I will box the shit out of this system. Because it's wrong what they're doing.
the White House is more concerned about shielding Joe Biden walking to the helicopter than they are about solving any problems.
Okay, so Greg, he says it goes back to the grass, which I know that you know something about.
Oh, I don't understand that. Are you alluding to something?
I just need you to Google it.
All right. First of all, I love how these trials
I love how they be giving me shout outs through this. Now, I sound psychotic, but whatever. I know they be giving me shout outs. This happened 32 minutes ago.
are fuel for Trump. If he's Popeye, lawfare is his spinach.
Oh,
He's not leading in the polls despite the trials. He's leading in the polls because of the trials, and it's hilarious to watch. It really is. Who would have thought the Howard Stern show would become the safe space for an elderly, clueless fossil, and also Joe Biden? I kid Howard Stern. I loved him, but man, he has changed. Risk has now been replaced with reward. When you listen to the interview, he's completely defanged, and he's rendered kind of a harmless Stern, the opposite of what the brand that Stern used to be. But that's what happens when you get co-opted by power and famous friends. And it's weird to see Stern switch sides. You know, Trump for many years supported Stern, gave him his best shows. And I could bet you at that time, Biden would have branded Stern a moral hazard in need of censorship. So now you have Stern basically trashing Trump, who reflects the frankness of the Stern phenomenon. And instead, Stern embraces the precise kind of phony that early Stern would have mercilessly mocked. Now on to your cheap gaffe about the grass. Okay. They're talking about a stiff gate. That's what this is part of a bigger scandal that should be called Feeble Gate, right? It's a scandal to cover up Biden's ever diminishing function. Let's be honest. The only way that Biden can look younger is to surround himself with corpses. And it's not the walk that should be alarming. It's the dementia, which makes him even more oblivious to the destruction of all our institutions. It's the woke handlers who are accelerating our nation's demise, and he's just there along for the ride. Who knows how much longer he'll be there? I think it's also, it's also hard to walk when you got a load in your pants. That's why they call him Dark Brandon, Judge. Ask the White House laundry.
Okay, we don't have any confirmation from the White House laundry, so we're just going to move on from that. But I thought it was interesting, Judge, that there's part of this reporting in Politico about the people walking with him is he wanted more downtime, less formal time with his aides. So the walk between the White House and Marine One is supposed to be it?
Do it. I mean, that'll absolutely do it. I mean, look, the reason he's got his aides there is because they're going to ask him a question. It's quiet. There's nothing going on there, and they're afraid he's going to answer it. And they're the ones who are going to make sure that he doesn't say anything that's out of line. It's obviously, we already know how he treats his aides. He curses at them. He yells at them. I mean, we've heard all the stories about what's going on in the White House. But, I agree with Greg. I mean, the guy's lost it. And what he's saying now, what he said on the Howard Stern show, he came up with even more lies. The guy's a plagiarist. He's plagiarized his whole career. I think it was his 88 or 98 presidential campaign. They threw him out because he was such a liar. Now he comes up with 4 new ones. He said when he was a lifeguard, he saved a half a dozen people from drowning. Now, you want to tell me why he waited until he was 81 to tell people about that? Oh, number 2. And he said, get this, he said, whenever he, as a senator, received salacious pictures that women would give him, he would give it to the Secret Service. Joe, you didn't have Secret Service when you were a senator, okay? Then he said when he was younger, he was on a porch with a black family. He was the only white kid on the porch with a black family. He was protesting segregation, and they arrested him.
Did y'all hear that crap? He was protesting with them, and they arrested him, the black people.
Joe, why would they arrest you? I mean, okay, and then he said he was a runner in state scoring football. What the hell is that? First of all, he always said he was the first one in his family to go to college. Then we heard that his grandfather played college football and he was the best. I mean, you need to have drinks when you go through this. You know what? It's just ridiculous. And this man is representing us. He talks to Xi Jinping. He talks to Putin. Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to need to go down to that end of the table and do a wellness check. I'm going to jump down there. Okay, so
It should be the debate moderator.
well, listen, if you're free, it's apparently going down at the courthouse tonight. If you're free, they've offered to do it. Well, at least one side has offered. Okay, so this interview where you find all these nuggets is Howard Stern. But the New York Times is upset because they say, more traditional news outlets are not getting a chance at this. They say it should be troubling that President Biden has so actively and effectively avoided questions from independent journalists during his term. Avoiding interviews and questions from major news organizations doesn't just undermine an important norm. It also established.
When you get pay them to allegedly avoid these questions, then what happens? You just avoid the questions.
Is a dangerous precedent that future presidents can use to avoid scrutiny and accountability. So Richard, they're thinking not only about now, but is their self-interest also that other presidents will say it's just not done that way anymore?
Oh, listen, I think that's a fair point by the New York Times. And I do think that the president should probably give more interviews to the traditional press or those folks who sit in the briefing room. I think that's a fair assessment. Now, you know, I watched the same interview you did, Judge. I didn't have the same assessment of it, but that's all fair in love and war. There's a part of the interview that I really did appreciate the president talking about, especially at this point, this inflection point in our country. He talked about the time when he lost both his wife and his daughter, and he talked about the ideal of what he was dealing with. He talked about thinking about drinking. He also talked about the ideal of his own suicide ideations after losing both his daughter and his wife. And I think this comes at a time in our country where we know Black youth the suicide rate there is up 144%. We know that for college athletes, the suicide rate has doubled in this country. So we have a lot of young people struggling with this. To hear the president of the United States say, hey, listen, when I was a young person, I too struggled with this, I think is a real moment for him to say, listen, I'm feeling your pain. And this is what he's very good at doing. Whether you disagree with his politics or not, it's important to see our leaders say, I've struggled with this as well, especially as the nation and our young people.
What I like is how they have to read it. It's very hard to think off the top of your head, but I get it. You know, some people have to do that, and that'll make a sharp mind. And that's what I like to do. That's why I freelance my stuff. It's very hard, you know, but the pressure is on when you're on like Fox News, and you have to remember it. What if you mess up? You get what I'm saying? So what they do is they have like a biography or some sort of token or a script is scripted right next to them in case they go off subject.
We'll struggle with it too.
Too bad he does nothing about the pain. I'm all for feeling pain, but America.
Part about it is talking about it, Greg. That's how you deal with it.
Talking is cheap. I think someone said that once. Talk is cheap. Fact is, we have inflation that is causing
20 suicidal ideations. Talking about it's actually how you solve it.
No. If you want to buy into that, that's fine.
I mean, but that's what
he's done nothing about fentanyl.
He's
done nothing about fentanyl. He's done nothing about crime. He's done nothing about inflation. He's done nothing about border, which is increased gang crime.
Let's just be very clear.
All right, I'll give you this. You know what? I'll give you this. Suicidal ideation is bad. There you go. You can have that point.
Everyone can agree on that.
Yeah,
and we'll leave it there.
Oh, what was wrong with that picture? That is not a normal thing that usually happens. Even when a Democrat, I think it's another Democrat that come on the show say that, I want to know what was said a little deeper.
You know, I watched the same interview you did, Judge. I didn't have the same assessment.
Well, he always said he was the first one in his family to go to college. Then we heard that his grandfather played college football and he was the best. I mean, you need to have drinks when you go through this. You know what? It's just ridiculous. And this man is representing us. He talks to Xi Jinping. He talks to Putin. Oh, my gosh.
A 5-year-old can talk to Putin.
I'm going to need to go down to that end of the table and do a wellness check.
You want to believe what I did? Y'all want to know what I did 2 years ago before I was arrested? I gave Putin my social security number, and I gave him, hopefully that was the right website and not the dark web, you know, pretending like it was that website. But I went on his Kremlin website. I could take you there now if you want, but I went on the Kremlin because I didn't understand why nobody is listening to me. This was in Salt Lake City. I told him who I claimed that I was and everything. And I said, please watch over me. You know, somebody is actually doing things to me. So I gave him my social. I gave him my full name. I gave him my date of birth. And I gave him all my information. I think I made a pretty good decision. Because, hey, if he wanted me dead, I'd be dead. There's too many agents here.
The judge down there.
I think Shane should be the debate moderator.
Well, listen, if you're free, it's apparently going down at the courthouse tonight. If you're free, they've offered to do it. Well, at least one side has offered. Okay, so this interview, where you find all these nuggets, is Howard Stern. But the New York Times is upset because they say, you know, more traditional news outlets are not getting a chance at this. They say it should be troubling that President Biden has so actively and effectively avoided questions from independent journalists during his term. Avoiding interviews and questions from major news organizations doesn't just undermine an important norm, it also establishes a dangerous precedent that future presidents can use to avoid scrutiny and accountability. So, Richard, they're thinking not only about now, but is their self-interest also that other presidents will say it's just not done that way anymore?
Oh, listen, I think that's a fair point by the New York Times. And I do think that the president should probably give more interviews to the traditional press or those folks who sit in the briefing room. I think that's a fair assessment. Now, you know, I watched the same interview you did, Judge. I didn't have the same assessment of it, but that's all fair in love and war. There's a part of the interview that I really did appreciate the president talking about, especially at this point, this inflection point.
You know what? I'm not even going to say no comment. Do y'all understand that he doesn't talk to the press no more? Do you know that when the press asks a pressing question, it's like he'll look and walk away, or he'll just yeah. But he says, did y'all hear what he said on the Howard Stern show? Was this the one? I guess I lost it.
Our country. He talked about the time when he lost both his wife and his daughter, and he talked about the ideal of what he was dealing with. He talked.
You see that face? See, I know she getting heated. She getting heated, and I love how that white man took up for her, because he's saying that in Love and War that he don't care. They all were mad. You can tell, because that's just not right. That's just not right. You know, he's taking up for somebody that killed his own kind, allegedly. I can't help it. I'm not saying, I'm not saying something could be going on with Biden. We don't know. The only thing I feel sorry for Biden with is the fact that he has dementia or alleged dementia. But now I know what he's saying. He said in Love and War that they felt that Biden he was acting inappropriate. He talks about you know what? I'm not going to say nothing. I'll just let the people do the talking.
Thinking about drinking. He also talked about the ideal of his own suicide ideations after losing both his daughter and his wife. And
he talked about suicidal ideation after both losing his daughter and his wife. Okay, I can see that.
And this comes at a time in our country where we know Black youth the suicide rate there is up.
But you comparing what he went through to Black youth.
144%. We know that for college athletes, the suicide rate has doubled in this country. So we have a lot of young people struggling with this too. To hear the president of the United States say, hey, listen, when I was a young person, I too struggled with this, I think is a real moment for him to say, listen, I'm feeling your pain. And this is what he's very good at doing. Whether you disagree with his politics or not, it's important to see our leaders say, I've struggled with this as well, especially as the nation and our young.
But he keeps saying he'll beat Trump. If Trump was in his neighborhood, he'll beat him like a drum. That's fact. He said that Trump will get beat like a drum. And if he was ever cruising in his neighborhood, him and Trump will have a fight, a fist fight. He said he wished Trump come to his neck of the woods.
Young people struggle with it too.
Too bad he does nothing about the pain. I'm all for feeling pain, but
the part about it is talking about it, Greg. That's how you deal with it.
Talking is cheap. I think someone said that once. Talk is cheap.
That's what Biden said. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. I'm tired of hearing these political people talk about what they're going to do. They get into office. They do like 1% of what they say they're going to do. People are suffering. People are dying. Nothing is happening. Bang, boom, boom. People getting paid under the table and wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. People are suffering again. And then they have these events, these town hall meetings where they're pouring out their hearts to the political people. And they're like, we're sorry. We'll take that into consideration.
Fact is, we have inflation that is causing
suicidal ideations. Talking about it's actually how you solve it.
No.
Talking about suicidal ideation, you need to come up with a plan. Why haven't we came up with a plan? Talking does solve it, but it's more things that need to be implemented.
No. If you want to buy into that, that's fine.
I mean, but that's
He's done nothing about fentanyl. He's done nothing about fentanyl. He's done nothing about crime. He's done nothing about inflation. He's done nothing about border, which is increased gang crime.
Let's just be very clear.
All right, I'll give you this. You know what? I'll give you this. Suicidal ideation is bad. There you go. You can have that point.
Everyone can agree on that.
It was getting heated. It was getting heated.
Yeah,
And we'll leave it there.
The president talked about
there is work to be done.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
Creating your will or trust with LegalZoom is fast and affordable, making it easy to protect.
America's foreign policy has always been a simple one. You're either with us or you're against us.
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists. From this day forward, any nation that continues to
I have to say, President Bush, I don't know what he did with whoever did the alleged drugs and flooding of crack cocaine, but he did I was young. I didn't research him thoroughly, but I think he did a pretty good job because he was trying to catch, people overseas. And then I have to say on that part, after Bush, I think came 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think Obama came or something. He did like a 10-year term, and then Obama came and did a 10-year term or something like that, or 8-year. And he caught him. I have to say they caught him. They caught him. They caught him. They caught him. So I'm not bashing him on that point. A Black African-American man catching, this terrorist that, bin Laden, Saddam bin Laden. You don't even want to see the video I saw when they hung the other guy. They hung him. And I saw the whole video. This was before YouTube was censoring things perfectly. This was when I just want to tell you how I feel. Yeah, you get that on your YouTube video going somewhere else. But I saw it. They hung him real good too. They hung him. And Obama sat up there and he killed him. They put his ashes or his body in the water. Agents came in and shot him dead in the head. He was staying in different properties and in a good neighborhood. And he had different levels. He had it like Area 51. It was very hard to get in there. They didn't know what to expect. I want to cry right now. That's the only thing I can say that they did that was right. And Bush started that. And I can say, I don't do weed no more. He did the weed thing. Okay, that was it.
Harbor or support terrorism will be regarded by the United States as a hostile regime.
See, I would love to know what would have happened if he was president during the time right now. And that's why I like Bush.
Our nation's never bent a knee to terrorists or mobs at home or abroad. When the high court desegregated schools and a mob descended on the Little Rock Nine, what did Eisenhower do? He sent the 101st Airborne in to the heart of Little Rock.
I was in 101st.
In that city, under the leadership of demagogic extremists, disorderly mobs have deliberately prevented the carrying out of proper orders from a federal court. The interest of the nation in the proper fulfillment of the law's requirements cannot yield to opposition and demonstrations by some few persons. Mob rule can not be allowed to override the decisions of our courts.
All week, intimidation and mob rule has been spreading on American campus from coast to coast.
Don't touch them! Don't touch them! Don't touch them!
He did not touch her that hard. They just want the police to look bad. He barely watch this crap. Look at it carefully, man. He just laid there on the ground. He knocked himself out.
Has been spreading on American campus from coast to coast.
Don't touch them! Don't touch them! Don't touch them!
And it's not just what they're doing, it's what they're saying. Listen. Jihadi war cries are ringing through the air tonight. And unlike Eisenhower, Biden's not sending in the National Guard. This week, he said there's fine people on both sides. Today, he ran away from the podium.
Mr. President, do you have a message for the protesters on campus?
I never seen him run so fast. I know he did a moonwalk, a frontal moonwalk with a 100% excellent flexibility to the maximum. I think that this flexibility was so maximum and terrific that he's a round of applause, man. He walked so straight and so erect that I don't even walk that straight. You deserve a round of applause. You ran, you could have completed a 1 mile journey in approximately a split a second. Great job.
No one knows what the White House position is. Not even the woman who speaks for the White House. She has no idea.
I mean, look, I can't speak to what's going on the ground. I know what happened is just happening now, happening today. So I have no idea on how that's being dealt on the ground.
And I guess since she has no idea, we don't have no idea. Nobody has an idea. Our nation is just fucked up right now. We just fucked. I'm sorry to cuss. We're fucked. She don't know. This is his right-hand woman. And she don't know. Okay. Keep playing.
Calls for a Muslim uprising are piercing the air. Jewish students are being blocked from class. And Columbia just went remote for the rest of the semester. Columbia University says they're negotiating with the Arab Spring Breakers. They're asking, would it be okay if you guys packed up your tents and just removed the caliphate from the Quad? The United States doesn't negotiate with terrorists.
This is how terrorism works. And it works on Columbia's campus the same way that it works in Kabul and in Mosul and in Rafah. You start off slow and you see that you don't face any consequences. So you amp up the heat more.
And guess what? Else I learned, Professor? I learned that with Jewish terrorism or whatever's going on, that if you have them keep coming here in numbers, they're just going to do whatever they want because they know that you can't arrest them, right? Burn out the police, make the police turn corrupt, and just don't give a flying pig.
More and more and more, and you amp up the heat until the other side gets to a breaking point and starts negotiating with you. This is how terrorism works. It works everywhere around the world by scaring you into doing what they want, to capitulating into their demands.
College presidents were just on Capitol Hill telling us that screaming "Kill the Jews" was against school policy.
Wasn't Jesus Jewish? Am I right? Was he Jew or not? So when you have a group of people that hate, this is an FBI situation. It's crazy.
Said it wasn't, was fired. And now the schools aren't enforcing their own policy. They're negotiating with the students breaking it because they can't really figure out who's lower on the oppression totem pole, Muslims or Jews. But you don't need a totem pole. You just treat everybody equally. Imagine that. Everybody gets respect. Everybody gets protected. Since when do you pay $80,000 a year and get classes canceled because students set up a Gaza Strip and bellow out, "I am Hamas"? You can't yell, "I am KKK" all day in the quad while blacks go to math.
Have you seen any of the KKK lately? Have you seen any of the Proud Boys lately? We know Black Lives Matter is active because so many Black people are dying in Philly, in St. Louis, Missouri, and other places. But I have yet to hear, they would have played it. They would have played it by now. Matter of fact, after this, I'll look it up. What is the KKK been up to in the Proud Boys?
I can tell you, if I went into the NYU Square with a white hood on and said, "Lynch the blacks or burn the gays," my ID would be shut off by that night.
Oh, really? Lynch the blacks or kill the gays. You're right. That's what I just said.
And I would never work in academia again. There would be no need for the words context or nuance. I wouldn't be protected by terms like First Amendment or free speech.
Now, if I'm not a Hamas lover, I'm just a pro-Palestinian, and everybody in the protest is yelling "death to Israel," I might pack up and pitch my tent somewhere else. Instead of yanking their IDs and suspending them, politicians are praising them.
No offense, but if you still think stocks, real estate, or crypto are the best passive income investment,
I am incredibly moved by your courage and bravery as a student body in putting your bodies on the line to stand in solidarity to end the
It's violence. It's violence, lady. You sound.
genocide that is taking place in Gaza.
Now, it starts on college campuses and it festers down the chain. And by the way, the Israelis are bombing Gaza and feeding them and delivering them aid. And America is giving the Palestinians billions of dollars. These students don't know that because when they arrived on campus, they were ready to be radicalized. A month before this uprising, Colombia hosted a crew of terrorist influencers who endorsed hijacking planes.
Take, for example, hijacking airplanes. It was one of the most important tactics that the Palestinian resistance have engaged in. If it wasn't for these tactics, we would never heard of Layla Khalid, for example, and other Palestinian women who led these kind of heroic operations that introduced the Palestinian questions to the world.
The faculty lit a match, but their brains were tinderboxes since lower school. The propaganda begins in kindergarten.
Today what we're going to do is we're going to shout Free Palestine. Can I hear that?
Yes, it starts there. I love all races, genders, creed, religion, and, if you're LGBT. But this right here has gone too far. You're introducing drag men in drag to children. So what is up with that? It's scary, man. This is crazy. I think that people shouldn't be introduced to drag unless they're around their parents and or they are adults. It's like a drug, man.
Free Palestine! If you're a drag queen and you know it, shout Free Palestine! If you're a drag queen and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're a drag queen and you know it, shout Free Palestine! Excellent.
If you're interested in the drag queen mentality, I interviewed one for my book. Not sure if you've heard of Get It Together, but whole chapter on it, still on Amazon. Now, I don't think drag queens would survive long in Gaza, but they've been grooming little Johnny Jihads to burst into flames first semester, kaboom, for quite some time. While telling you the real threat's the smirking Catholic kid with the MAGA hat. Remember Nick Sandman? He was branded America's most wanted. The next Unabomber. All he did was stand still. But if you stab a Jew in the eye with a Palestinian flagpole and yell from the river to the sea, politicians call you brave.
Demonstrations themselves are not something that we, the FBI, get involved in. But when violence ensues, that's when we get concerned. When you have threats of violence.
Are you actively monitoring these protests?
We don't monitor protests, but we do share intelligence about specific threats of violence.
But hundreds of radicals chant death to America, and Chris Wray says they aren't monitored? Did any of these protesters sneak across the southern border? All this radical jihad for risky countries, just Biden lets walk right in, they lose track of them, and did they find their way to Arab Spring break? Kind of coincidence, if you ask me, that Arab Spring break just happened to blow up after Biden opened the border to the Muslim world and beyond. I have to take my shoes off when I go to the airport. But Johnny Jihad can just walk from Mexico to Texas, hop on a plane and slip into the crowd on the Columbia Quad. FBI's not monitoring that. Anybody checking IDs, or is that still racist? Anybody following the money trail on this movement, or we just all tied up looking at Trump's books from 2016? BLM got away with this for 3 months because no one held them accountable. Same thing's happening here. You got to stop it before it spreads. Pretend it's like COVID. Stop the spread.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube.
I never watched that before. I don't care what nobody say. I never watched it. Never, because I feel the exact same way.
If you're a business owner, then animated explainer videos are the best way to capture attention. Get more.
All right, dead dogs can't bark. But from day one of this ludicrous case against Trump, the Manhattan DA has been pounding on the canine corpse, trying desperately to resuscitate it. Look, he's still breathing, so pay attention and watch him do tricks. But it's not working. The case is flatlining. And that's because Alvin Bragg's approach was to indict Trump first and find a crime later. One problem, there's no crime. And David Pecker's testimony didn't help the prosecution.
You know, let's say you guys or women out there cheated on your husband and paid for service, or didn't pay for service, but gave them a gift. Whatever the case may be. Let's say you just cheated on your wife. And let's say you just cheated on your husband. What the heck reason should he be in court, whether he did it or not, when he made America, he showed America that he can make America great again, number one. He showed America what he can do to help us. A lot of Black small businesses was taken care of. So what does his private life have to do with anything when oh my God, it's just sick, man. You know what I want to say. Follow me.
And it was particularly delicious, I thought, to see how uncomfortable one CNN host got when one of his guests spoke the truth about the case.
He's taking the wind out of the prosecution's sails and showing there was this relationship that had nothing to do with sort of a quid pro quo.
And Beauvais is asking Pecker to confirm that the concept of catch and kill was not talked about at the August 2015 meeting at Trump Tower. That's correct, Pecker says.
Right. Beauvais is doing a great job of just bringing out facts that undermine the government's theory.
Pecker confirms that Trump and Cohen did not pay AMI any money in connection with the story from a former doorman at Trump Tower.
Well, got to interrupt when you don't want to know where it's going. Well, they are getting nervous. The lawfare being waged against Trump seems to be totally backfiring. And so disappointed commentators who kind of bet the farm on this are just left sputtering. Even, and this was really great this morning, offering nasty jabs after Trump's sweet birthday greetings to Melania.
One thing I want to point out, the first thing he did was wish his wife a happy birthday and said he wished he could be with her. She could be there. Any number of his family members could be there at this trial at any point. They've all chosen not to be at this trial.
They've chosen not to be. Really, John? Really? That's as good as you can do? Now, it's bad enough for Trump to waste his time in a sham proceeding. Why on earth would he want to punish his family, punish his wife on her birthday? Oh, come sit at the trial. Happy birthday. How ridiculous. But all day long, media personalities who had hoped that this case was going to help sink Trump were themselves sinking right along with Alvin's case.
Having people be reminded of just how crazy the 2016 campaign was. It's not clear the impact it will have. The question is, what does this actually do for voters come November?
Right. The campaign is the courthouse. The courthouse is the campaign.
Alvin and the Chipmunks. Well, yeah, the courthouse is the campaign, but not exactly as they hoped. The left thought that the endless lawfare against former President Trump would effectively neutralize him. Obviously take him off the trail, but really, really hurt him. So Biden essentially wouldn't even have to campaign. The trial would campaign for him. But it's the other way around. This case shows us once again, how dangerous it is for our judicial system to be used as a political battering ram.
You expect the lead witness to really set the table for the jury. But, in both relationships and trials, first impressions matter. What's the first impression here? They've been talking about something not in the indictment, something that's not a crime. And actually, their star lead witness seemed to help the president. We're left on Friday wondering what's the intelligent design here towards conviction. And one thing that would help if you would just tell us what's the crime.
Don't you love Turley? Now, with much fanfare, Alvin Bragg announced this indictment last spring. Y'all remember it. Hoping to use his legal campaign against Trump as, I think, a springboard for higher office. But in the end, he'll be just known as another untalented lawyer who thought his ambition and liberal connections would hide the fact that he has no case. But if you're going to try to take down one of the most formidable political forces America has ever seen, you better show up with more than David Pecker, that goofball Michael Cohen, and a few canceled checks. And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to...
I love that woman. I never knew who she was, man. She is more sarcastic than me. Ooh la la. One more. Let's see. Ooh, I love it when the Trump lawyer, this is a serious problem. I can't wait to see what she said.
Creating your will or trust with LegalZoom is fast and affordable, making it easy to protect.
Testimony about to resume on day 8 of New York's criminal trial against former President Donald Trump. His defense team wrapping its cross-examination of the former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker just a short time ago. Alina Habba is former President Donald Trump's legal spokeswoman and the general counsel for the Save America PAC. She joins us now. Alina, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I know just a couple of days ago, as this was going on, you suggested you were not optimistic that the jurors and the judge in this trial will do the right thing. Have you changed your thinking on that at all?
If this was based on facts and what actually happened, my comments would be different. The realisticness of what happens in New York courts when your name is Donald Trump and you're the leading candidate for the GOP is incredibly different. And for people to say that's not the case is just denial of what's actually happened to the American justice system. We have a serious problem. We have a problem where there's a vitriol, there's a Trump derangement syndrome, and it's blinding lawyers, it's blinding jurors, and it's affecting judges. Their Soros backing and political affiliations should have no part in the court, but I've seen time and time again that it does. So, you know, my comment, while the left-wing media would like to take it out of context, it is the truth, which is that President Trump has done absolutely nothing wrong. He should win. And if he's given a fair jury, if he's given a fair court, if he's not in Manhattan, which is a completely blue state where they only polled blue state members of the jury on purpose, well, that's a different game. But to say that, you know, if I said here that I think everything's perfect, well, I'd be completely hypocritical. As I've said for the last 3 years, this is a witch hunt. The president is under siege. The American people are under siege. And if we don't change the judicial system, if we don't get rid of this lawfare in place of politics, the American people are going to suffer.
Hey, Alina, it's John here. So we have had legal analyst after legal analyst, and this is Andy McCarthy, former federal prosecutor, Jonathan Turley, constitutional law professor at GW. He's argued before the Supreme Court, all saying they have read all of the material. They've watched the court proceedings, or at least listened to them, and they can't figure out where the crime is that Alvin Bragg is trying to charge the president with. But when you take a look at the makeup, and this goes to what you were saying a moment ago.
Hold up. Who is presiding? Because I looked it up. Over the Trump trial. He has 2 trials. Oh my gosh. Justice Juan Merchant, the judge presiding on his ongoing hush money trial, has not ruled whether he be his son's graduation. What is this? Hold on. I'll watch that in a second. It's not that long.
When you take a look at the makeup of the courtroom, the jury, all the prosecutor has to do is convince the jury that, hey, something bad happened here. And you don't really need to prove the fact. You just need to convince them. But do you think at this point, that even if Alvin Bragg were to get a conviction, that there's enough material that this could be overturned on appeal?
100%. And if you have any doubt about it, I've seen the vitriol happen in the lower courts. I've seen it happen with the Attorney General case. And look what happened there. We had a $475 million insane judgment. We went to the appellate division. They lowered that immediately. And they'll look at the facts and look at the record. We have unfair records. And I want to be clear, that was my point. We have judges not allowing evidence that should be admitted. We have rulings that are not necessarily press-related or worthy rulings, but they affect our cases. We can't bring in evidence that most people would be allowed to bring in. Now, all of those decisions, all of those transcripts are examined closely by the appellate division. And that's what I've always said. These are long game trials. They're not necessarily trials that will win when we have AGs and DAs going to the Biden administration and coordinating with the top. But I do believe there is some justice at the appellate division, at the higher courts, as we heard yesterday in the Supreme Court, that will hold true to the Constitution and the laws and apply laws to fact like we're supposed to do.
Alina, this just in from our team in the hallway of the courthouse here in Manhattan. They're flagging to us that Jason Miller from the Trump campaign handed a printed copy of former President Donald Trump's Truth Social post out around the courthouse as everybody is at lunch. That particular Truth Social post that the former president just posted acknowledges that Joe Biden in this new interview with Howard Stern a short time ago announced that he's willing to debate. So the former president Donald Trump is posting about that, saying everyone knows he doesn't really mean it, but in case he does, I say anywhere, anytime, any place. How would you describe the former president's, I guess, how's he doing? You're clearly in touch with him on a regular basis, and this is a long process. He's sitting in the courtroom for many long hours every day. How would you describe his current state? How's he doing?
Look, politically is one thing. He's so strong. Personally is another. He is the biggest fighter I know. I can't tell you, I don't get into polls and all of that, and those speak for themselves at this moment. But if the American people want to know how he is on a day-to-day basis, look at what you're seeing. He comes out fighting. He comes out with papers, he's reading, he's educating himself, and he's educating the country on what is happening. He's making sure that this platform that they've created for him, where he is not allowed to campaign, is going to still be used as a platform for the American people to hear what is actually happening and to motivate people to get out and fix the country in November.
Just think, y'all, all y'all black people and white people and other people, if Trump can't campaign, what's going to happen to the Republicans, people that want to be the change of the community, of the state, of the United States? What's going to happen to them, all those Republicans? Guess what's going to happen? They're going to be suppressed and things are going to start happening. You can turn a blind eye all you want. You can be scared. You can do what you want. But that's not going to affect when your children get older, how they're going to be affected. You have to take a stand now.
And that's who he is truly, whether he's in court in front of a camera or he's behind the scenes just speaking to, myself. He is resilient. He is a fighter, and he's just a positive person. This just motivates the man, frankly, even more. The more they hit him, the more he gets up, because he doesn't want this to happen to people that don't have billions of dollars, that don't have the ability to defend themselves despite the constant ridicule and the constant persecution. He sees this as an anti-American witch hunt. And I'll be honest with you, he's the same person I met 3 years ago. He's just resilient and strong and a fighter.
Yep. Well said, well said, well said, well said. One last thing. Oh, 3 minutes.
Mr. Sally, in assessing the official acts of a president, do you differentiate between the president acting as president and the president acting as candidate?
Yes, we do. And we don't dispute essentially the blazing game discussion of that.
Okay.
But of course, that has to be done by objective determinations, not by looking at what was the purpose of what you did this. And that's the most important point there.
Did you, in this litigation, challenge the appointment of special counsel?
Not directly. We have done so in the Southern District of Florida case, and we totally agree with the analysis provided by Attorney General Meese and Attorney General Mukasey. And it points to a very important issue here, because one of their arguments is, of course, that, we should have this presumption of regularity. That runs into the reality that we have here an extraordinary prosecutorial power being exercised by someone who was never nominated by the president or confirmed by the Senate at any time. So we agree with that position. We hadn't raised it yet in this case when this case went up on appeal.
Justice Alito? When you say that the official act should be expunged from the indictment, that in itself would not achieve very much unless evidence of those official acts were precluded at trial. So is that what you're saying, that the prosecution should not be permitted at trial to prove the official acts as part of the conspiracies that are alleged?
Absolutely. And we think that's just the clear implications of Brewster and Johnson and their discussion that's in a very analogous context.
Thank you. Justice Sotomayor?
I'm a little bit confused by that. If you have a scheme to defraud or a scheme to accept bribery, there's evidence from which you can infer that scheme. And one of it is that the appointment actually happened. It's an official act. You wouldn't expunge that as evidence. You would instruct the jury that there's no liability for the actual appointment, that the liability is for accepting the bribe. Similarly here, I don't think the indictment is charging that the obstruction occurred solely because of conversations with the Justice Department. They're saying you look at all of the private acts and you look in the context of some of the public acts, and you can infer the intent, the private intent from them. So I'm not sure that I understand why your problems couldn't be taken care of at trial with an instruction if the court were to find, I'm not even sure how they could, but if it were to find that some public acts could not be the basis of criminal liability?
I think the best thing I can say to that is, and I think this ties into the Chief Justice's question about a one-legged stool. Brewster and Johnson and subsequent cases like Heltowski versus Meaner essentially say that this is a one-legged stool problem. It will be difficult for some of these prosecutions to proceed, and that is the implications of official immunity, which is dictated in the Constitution here by the executive vesting clause.
I understand that part. Thank you. I'm mad at y'all, but thank you. Good. Oh, we have to know this one. Last one, I put that on God. Y'all have to know this.
Creating your will or trust with LegalZoom is fast and affordable, making it easy to protect what matters most.
It's time for Seen and Unseen, where we reveal the stories behind the headlines. For that, we turn to Fox News contributor Raymond Arroyo. All right, Raymond, I was heartened to see that Patrick Mahomes has joined The Rock, not endorsing anyone this presidential season. Love it.
Well, not everyone got the memo, Laura. In fact, some big names have become practical surrogates for the Biden campaign.
Ooh-wee.
People like John Legend and Michael Douglas.
Choice is very clear. There's a lot been said about age and all these other things. Both of them are old, but one of them is a really decent man who's done a lot to improve lives in this country, and that's Joe Biden.
Your life changed, but my life hasn't. Our lives, the ones that want to get out of poverty too. Or is it like some pyramid scheme where you get paid, John Legend, and the rest of us just don't get out of the circle?
Biden are about the same age. Are you one of those people who wished he had bowed out, let the field choose somebody else?
You hurt me, Michael. You hurt me, Mickey. I won't speak on you because I watched many of your shows. You're very intelligent. Same with John Legend, but I can't believe he was so strong with that, man. He knows I'm hard more on my race because my race knows that once you get to a particular percentage of money, you could be helping us succeed by helping us. You know, there's a couple of us like Damon John helps, and he doesn't get into politics, which is very smart. Spectacular, he helps. You know, I'm hard on my Black race because it's like they don't understand. We need help. We always hurting each other. We get jealous when somebody has more than the other. We get jealous when somebody doing better than the other. You know, it's not right. Case in point, yesterday, I had a guy on the show yesterday that did the same exact thing. He said his people don't like him.
I think that I walk a little similar to him. And the people that I've talked to and everybody that I have say he's as sharp as a tack. He's fine.
He's as sharp as a tack. Look, not to fact check the All-Star Biden Defense League, Laura, but this was Joe Biden earlier at an Earth Day event. I guess it depends on the tack you use for comparison. Watch.
I've seen the devastating toll of climate firsthand. I think about climate. When I think about it, I think not only about health and safety, but I think about jobs. We issued new standards for chemical plants that emit toxic pollution. Now, candy, it affected Delaware. We had the highest cancer rate in the 1970s of any nation, any state in the nation. And guess what? A lot of us, from me included, ended up with bronchial asthma.
What did he almost say there, Laura? Bronchial cancer? What was that? I mean, this is from the man that brought you Uncle Boise's, cuisine last week, cannibal cuisine. That story didn't pan out either. He just makes this stuff up. But to say that this is sharp as a tack, I'd hate to see a dull one.
Well, Michael Douglas is quite compelling when he offers secondhand observations as well. People I know who spend time with him say
some of these stars have to do this in order to keep their endorsements up. It's very obvious. And Michael Douglas has been in business in the same politics. He's been in the business a long time, y'all. A long time, like almost a half a century, if not more than a century, but almost a century. He's been in the entertainment business, and he knows if he goes against something, his endorsements stop. Same with John Legend. Point blank, period.
Okay, let's spend some time with him and then at least come out after spending your own time with him and say something.
Plausible deniability, Laura. That's smart. Look, one celebrity who is not out hitting the campaign trail like the rest for Joe Biden is Michelle Obama. But she is trying to generate some excitement by engaging the little people with an all-new Target run.
I heard my paperback is out and it's in Target. So we are going to go undercover because I have not seen my book actually in a Target store. So we're going to try to do this low key. Let's see how it goes.
It's funny. It's real funny. That's like a diss towards me because I'm always going in stores and videotaping. People been doing what I've been doing. Like, Michelle, really?
It's me. Should I do a reading here? Give me a pen. I'm going to sign a few. Something for me, something for my husband, and something for Senator. Mission accomplished. Check. See you guys later.
Laura, this is like George H.W. Bush going to the grocery store. No one buys this. And I love how, aside from her staff, she had no interaction with anyone at Target. It showed the razzle.
Target was shut down. You know it, and I know it. Target was unlocked.
Dazzle is kind of wearing thin at this point.
Nobody is down the aisle. They could have at least fake and had Secret Service dress up down the aisle.
Nobody cares.
She looks really thin. She looks pretty good, I think. But Raymond, I think she tried to do this before. Didn't she try to go? During when she was first lady, she went to, I think it was a Target or Walmart. I can't remember what store, but she kind of did this routine before. Was it Target? So yeah, she likes to promote Target. But look, she'll send. I guess she'll sell a ton of books. There's still people still reading books.
Well, it's remarkable to me that she's not out there beating the drum for Biden. Usually, Michelle is on the vanguard. Now the Obamas are hanging back. I think they see the same handwriting on the wall, The Rock and others. And Laura, there is one celebrity that Team Biden is hoping will declare for Joe.
Please don't do it, Taylor Swift. I love you so much. We love you so much. And I know he is trying to get you under his nails. Please, Taylor. Just even if you do it in the nicest way. Don't have to bash Trump, but dang, do it for your people. You watch your people buy tickets all the time for you, Taylor, and you're such a sweet girl, and I relate to all your songs. I'm not your number one fan. I don't know all of your songs, but I know most of them, and I know you're a good person. Just don't do it. Ugh.
One, Taylor Swift. But despite her endorsement last time, maybe she's thinking she should have said no. She focused on her new album, which Paste magazine just panned. Did you see that?
Well, I don't read Paste, but some of the young kids, Raymond, my daughter's age, they love Taylor Swift, but they don't love necessarily her new review. But that was brutal, her new album. They gave the Tortured Poets Department a 3.6 out of 10, claiming.
You know why? That's messed up. That's messed up, man. April 19th is, oh my God, it just happened. You see what they do to these people? She's been avoiding them, and they reach out through the magazines.
That Swift is in her 30s. It sounds like she's infantilizing her own audience more than ever before.
Yeah, there was a pretty brutal takedown. What's curious, Laura, the editor's note of this Pace magazine, they decided to suppress the author's byline, fearing for the safety of the staff. Apparently, this guy, someday before, one of the earlier albums, had reviewed her, and the Swifties went crazy. Who knew that a review of a Taylor Swift album would become the 2024 Charlie Hebdo? But here we are. The writers are all in hiding.
Well, it's like 40, wasn't it like 40 songs on the album or 35 songs? All right. And now the University of South Florida, Raymond, has announced it's launching a new English class devoted to the study of Taylor Swift.
It's amazing to me, Laura. They're late in the game, actually. 4 other universities already beat them to the punch, including Harvard. So I'm glad the University of Southern Florida is catching up. But look, there's no taking away Swift's culture.
Yeah, we're out of time.
Whether you like her lyrics.
No. What else was I going to look up? I'm wondering what they would study her about, her music, her culture, her arts, how she came to be to where she is. That's like a good 2 to 8 week, or probably traditionally stretch it on out to 16-week course. I don't care. She deserved it, man. After that Kanye West thing, that was really wrong, man. It's like he's possessed. He's possessed by B, man. I don't care what nobody say, man. He's possessed by her. It's demonic stuff going on in Hollywood, allegedly. What? Last thing, I promise you, I put this on God.
Creating your will or trust with LegalZoom is fast and affordable, making it easy to protect what matters most. Plus, you can get dependable advice from an experienced
Joe Biden's running probably the most chaotic White House in history. From commander chowing down on staff to a cocaine bag you found near the Situation Room. It's all out of control. And now Secret Service agents are going the full Jerry Springer. One of Kamala's armed protectors reportedly flipping out this week and getting into a physical fight with another agent at Joint Base Andrews while waiting for the VP to arrive. Things got so crazy. The Washington Examiner reports that the agent had to be handcuffed and removed from service. The Secret Service confirms that the agent began displaying behavior their colleagues found distressing. But coy on other.
I hope it wasn't Jamar. I really do. Jamar, JJ, JB. I hope it wasn't you, dude. I hope it wasn't you. One of my friends work for Kamala Harris. They won't say who it is. They're showing everybody except Jamar.
Other details saying, quote, "This was a medical matter. We will not disclose any further details." Harold Ford Jr., what do you think happened?
I have no idea. What I read.
No, but what do you think happened?
You're trying to lure him into speculation.
Yeah, come on, Harold. We don't speculate here.
I don't know. I hope
that hasn't stopped you before, Harold. Come on.
Hope no. That's you're talking about my seatmate here. I don't know. I just read what I read, and it appears that I'm glad that she didn't harm anybody. I hope she didn't harm herself, and I hope that she whatever help she needs, the Secret Service agent, they're able to get it to.
Okay, wonderful political answer, Harold.
Thank you.
I'll send you a
what
check.
I believe.
Janine?
Okay, this is what happened. Okay, there was another person on the Secret Service detail. By the way, the vice president's detail is where they put all the problem children. Okay,
is that a fact?
That is a fact. You can write it down. And apparently, she was having an argument with another person on the Secret Service. She grabbed his phone and started removing apps from the phone. Why? Was there a relationship there? I don't know, and I will not say.
Keep going.
However, then so she gives the phone back, and the guy says nothing. Nothing. He just moves on. Then she starts chest bumping and she punched out another agent.
Oh.
Now, they said that her hire was part of a diversity, equity, and inclusion push. Hang on, Greg. In response to years of staff shortages and may have required the agency to lower its once strict employment standards. I'm reading that. I'm not saying it. Now, I also understand from someone in the know that when she was training in 2016, she heard voices and everybody ignored it. And there she is.
Oh, she heard voices, Greg. What does that tell you?
Well, voices carry.
Oh, that was
Thank you.
good.
Till Tuesday. I don't blame the Secret Service.
Yep.
Look who they work for. I mean, imagine being a bodyguard for someone whose default system is cluelessness, and your default system as a professional is complete awareness. It doesn't match. Right? You are basically babysitting a child. Maybe you need crazy agents to match the VP. But once again, the projection hypothesis comes true. Everything the media painted Trump with, chaos, unruliness, divisive, unprofessional, erratic, criminal, ignorant, has all come true under Joe Biden. From the big ticket items, whether it's safety or security or unity or foreign relations, to the smaller stuff like the disarray and the scuffles and the verbiage. Who knew that everything they would accuse Trump of, they would fulfill? We did. We all did.
Didn't we, Dana?
Well, I hope she gets the help she needs. It reminded me of Carrie from Homeland. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That is kind of like that story. Anybody?
Yeah.
You remember?
You remember?
Yeah.
I got everything else.
Okay.
But remember the Secret Service story with under Obama? Remember they were partying in Colombia and there was a huge problem.
See, now that's a good scandal.
That was a good.
That's
yeah,
a good
That's
scandal.
True. That's true.
That's the kind of
And by
scandal
the way,
we like.
she was with the Dallas Police Department and she sued for gender discrimination. The court threw the case out. I don't know why they hired her.
You have any more thoughts on this? That you
Yeah,
want to share?
I'm done. Any more details? What's her name rhyme with, Judge? We gotta go. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube.
I don't have nothing bad to say about JB. I was like, I don't know. JB, I hope you still on there. Okay. Oh, hold up. This is a minute and 48 seconds. Hold on.
Starting today, anyone can monetize with ads as part of the all-new Beehive ad network.
Breaking news out of Colorado. The former paramedic who injected Elijah McClain with ketamine before his death was sentenced to probation this afternoon. Jeremy Cooper faced up to 3 years in prison after being convicted of homicide for McClain's death in 2019. The 23-year-old McClain was walking home when he was stopped and detained by 3 Aurora, Colorado police officers. America's top diplomat, Secretary of State Antony Blinken, met with Chinese President Xi Jinping and other top officials in Beijing to
you call it she. Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping. I'm all spitting and stuff trying to say this correct. Xi Jinping. It's the dialect in their voice. Thank you, Blinken. I hope it's something good.
today. Blinken raised concern that China's helping Russia to produce tanks, armored vehicles, and weapons for its war in Ukraine. CBS's Nancy Cordes is at the White House. Nancy, what's the bottom line?
The bottom line, Margaret, is that Secretary Blinken issued a warning in China today. He said that if China does not stop providing Russia with weapons components, that the U.S. is going to do something about it. And he suggested that the U.S. might be prepared to impose new sanctions on China if it continues to sell Russia microelectronics and machine tools that are being used to build munitions for use in its ongoing invasion of Ukraine. Now, this meeting comes at a tense moment in the U.S.-China relationship. Just this week, Congress passed $8 billion in security aid for Taiwan to help it defend against China. And Congress also gave TikTok's Chinese parent company less than a year to sell off the social media platform or face a ban here in the U.S. Blinken said that TikTok didn't explicitly come up in his talks with President Xi, but he did announce that the two sides are going to be holding their first ever talks on artificial intelligence in the coming weeks. Margaret?
A story to watch. Thank you. Breaking.
It's so funny. It's nothing but gossip, you guys. Hold on. I'm sorry. I have to know what Blinken told him. Gossip. This is what I told China President Xi and Foreign Minister Wang Yi. What's up, Mr. Blinken, Secretary of State Blinken?
Well, good evening, everyone. 10 months ago, I traveled to the People's Republic of China at a time of profound tension between our countries, with the aim of stabilizing the relationship.
Hold up. What's going on?
Reopening and strengthening our high-level channels of communication.
You seen
Over
that
a series
glitch?
of candid and constructive. 10 months ago, I traveled to the People's Republic of China at a time of profound tension between our countries, with the aim of stabilizing the relationship, reopening and strengthening our high-level channels of communication. Over a series of candid and constructive conversations I had then with President Xi and other senior officials, I made clear our policies and intentions and identified issues of shared interest where we might work together.
As long as he's not, coming in there, they just want to make a good world. I'm just so confused of why we can help Ukraine, but China can't help Russia. I'm confused, y'all. Tell me, it's so beautiful where he's at. They won't show it. They just show that part. I hope nothing but the best for China and United States. Just think if we were to work together, really without, well, I'm going to make sure I keep this secret from him. Well, I'm going to make sure I keep that secret from him. Like, what if we can work together, man? Seriously, China is so freaking smart, man. China and Russia is smart as well, man. I just wish that this petty war wasn't going on, man. They making a mountain out of a molehill. It's nothing but a hate crime. It's nothing but a hate crime, y'all. I hate him. Let me blow him up. You either help me or I'm going to blackmail you. Well, let me send money over here, but you can't send no money over there. I want to see what China said, but I can only imagine. That's between them two. That's above my head, man. This happened today. I watch it on my own time. I save it. Oh, let me show you what I'm about to do. Do my little datey dates. Good. I'm logging off now. Bye. Play around with the camera.